All right, let's get right into it. A pretty detailed document has popped up online, and it's making some very serious allegations against the streamer Sykkuno. And, it's really shaking things up in that corner of the internet. So, right out the top, this is the core claim of the entire document. It's basically saying that the public persona we all know, that kind, soft spoken character, is not the real person. Instead, the author accuses him of being a liar and a manipulator. Now, before we go any further, I just want to be super clear about our role here. We are not here to judge or to say whether these claims are true or not. Our job is simply to walk you through what's in this document, to explain the story and the evidence that it presents. Okay, so let's set the scene. The person who wrote this document describes herself as a smaller, up-and-coming creator, and for a long time, she says she really looked up to Sykkuno, saw him as a kind of role model. And according to her, this whole thing kicks off on Valentine's Day, of all days. Sykkuno follows her on Twitter, and at first, she was just amazed, super excited to be noticed by someone she admired. But that excitement, well, it quickly turned into something much, much more complicated. So how did it all actually start? Well, the document lays out the very first interaction they had. It started on Twitter, but as you'll see, it didn't stay there for long. So the author includes this screenshot of their first DMs. She sends him a message and boom, he apparently replies almost instantly. What's really telling here, according to the document, is how fast it moves from a simple hello to him asking what game she plays and suggesting they should play together. And yeah, that quick pace just kept going. The document makes a point of saying that their chat jumped from Twitter DMs over to Discord on that very first day of talking. The author presents this as a really big and really fast step up. And this brings us to one of the central arguments of the whole document, that this relationship escalated at an incredible, and what the author claims was a very intentional, speed. This timeline really just lays it all out. It illustrates what the author calls love bombing, that intense, rapid show of affection. I mean, look at this. Within just 3 days, the conversation allegedly goes from a first message to a 2-hour phone call and then to talk about her potentially moving in with him. It's incredibly fast. And here's the evidence for that call on the second day. The author says that during this 2-hour chat, they actually made solid plans for a first date at an aquarium, right around the time of TwitchCon EU. And then, get this, this is the conversation from day 3. They're talking about him getting a new cat, and he messages, "You'll have to stay to help take care of it." Now, the author took this as him pretty much directly saying he wanted her to move in with him. The document also makes sure to highlight another little detail that the author found pretty significant. She says that she learned during this time that there was a 15-year age gap between them, which in her view just added another layer to the power dynamic here. All right, so now we're getting into what are probably the most serious allegations in the whole document, and these all center around claims of straight-up dishonesty. So the author includes this screenshot where Sykkuno allegedly says he's super inexperienced when it comes to dating, claiming he's only actually dated someone once. According to the document, this was all part of the image he was trying to build for her. But, and this is the bombshell, the author's main accusation is that this was all a lie. She claims he was actually in a long-term relationship and had been living with his girlfriend for years. Not only that, but she alleges he was talking to other women online too, and that he would whisper on their calls, not because he was tired, but to keep his girlfriend from hearing him. So, the next big point the document tries to make is that this wasn't just a one-off thing. It argues this was part of a bigger, calculated pattern of behavior. And to try and prove this, the document brings in a second story, this time from another creator named Elphalia. The main idea here is that Sykkuno supposedly uses the same playbook over and over again to engage with and allegedly manipulate smaller creators who admire him. And this slide does a great job of showing the parallels the document is drawing. Both women allegedly received money from him. Both made plans to meet up. And in both cases, he apparently presented himself as single and inexperienced. The author argues these similarities are just too uncanny to be a coincidence. And here, the document lays out the receipts, literally. On one side, you see money sent to the author. On the other, money sent to Elphalia. This is presented as hard proof that sending money is a key part of what the author calls his love bombing strategy. And check this out. In this alleged conversation with the second creator, Elphalia, she asks him why he's single. His response? A combination of playing too many games. The document points to this as another example of him using that nerdy gamer boy persona to mislead women.
So, you might be asking, why put all this out there? Well, the author states her goal is to shine a light on this alleged behavior. She wants to create a space where other people who might have gone through something similar can feel safe to speak up. She ends by saying there's strength in numbers.
And all of this leaves us with a really big question, one that goes way beyond just this specific situation. In an industry that's literally built on these one-sided parasocial relationships between creators and fans, where do we draw the line between a genuine interaction and something closer to manipulation? As this world keeps growing, that's a question the whole community is going to have to grapple with.